Coping with COVID and In It Together SC present Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina and DHEC's Division of Diabetes and Heart Disease Management.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council present Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with COVID. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hey, don't forget, we are streaming live on the In It Together Facebook page and their YouTube channel. Please go over there, hit like, share, and follow, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Not only will you be able to watch Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday right here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but you will also get all types of great information on how to find a diabetes prevention program, how to eat healthy, how to live a healthy lifestyle. Don't you deserve that? Don't you want that? Don't you want to be healthy and happy and whole so that you can enjoy your family and your friends and have a great quality of life? Well, the In It Together Facebook page and YouTube channel have all types of great information. Please go over there and hit the subscribe button and like and share. We're also streaming live on the TailorMade production page. That's the home of Coping with COVID and, of course, Wellness Wednesday. Go over there, hit like and share and follow. Find out when we go live on Wednesday from Wellness Wednesday from In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council, and also on Thursday and Friday for Coping with Tre Tailor. We also are streaming live on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And we also have a presence on Instagram and Facebook. Now, coming up, more on Wellness Wednesday from In It Together SC and Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina. Joining you live from Reese's plants. We're out here in Blythewood, South Carolina. I'm Tre Tailor, and we are here with Bobby Gordon. Bobby has been Daniels. Bobby Daniels has been at Reese's for several years, but Bobby, this is not your first garden rodeo, so to speak. You've been doing gardening for over 20 years.
Over 20 years, starting in New Jersey, and then we, after retirement from the teaching profession and my garden center profession also, we moved to South Carolina about 8 years ago. And I've been working at another garden center as well as Reese's the past 8 years.
So tell me, first, how did you get into gardening?
Oh, gardening has been a passion.
Because you have a good gardening hat on. Yeah. I mean, you look like a gardener.
Well, I was out there unloading 2 tractor trailers the last 2 days in this hot sun, so it's a part of gardening.
Yeah.
The hard work goes along with the gardening.
Right.
But yes, growing up, I could remember working in the gardens with my grandfather, and he just would teach me step by step how to plant vegetables.
Oh, wow.
And he would back then the amendments were a lot different. He used sheep manure as his prime.
Now, did you guys have sheep?
No, it was purchased.
Oh,
it was purchased at various farms in the area, and they would bag it, and that's what he thought would be the go-to for helping his plants grow. It was, and he taught me about the soil itself. Some pH levels were high, some were low, and he would always try to sweeten his soil by adding lime to it.
Oh, wow.
And
was that good?
It was good. Yeah. And he never, I don't think, like even my grandmother when she was baking a cake, back in those days, there's a little bit of that and a little bit of this.
Yeah.
So he would basically do the same thing and come up with a right mixture of amending to his soils. And that's where my interest really began, helping him. And when the plants needed water, I was always there. He showed me how to water, not the top of a tomato plant while it was weak. While it was growing, you always watered from the bottom. And it's still very much the same now. But I think a lot of my passion developed when I was a little boy. And my father was a florist.
Oh,
so my father.
Yeah, so you've been around
growing, yes.
Yeah.
My father was a florist for many years, and then he went into the wholesale business where he sold to florists after that. So, yes, it's been in the family for many years, and even though, and right when that job was done, I went right to the nursery.
Wow.
And they were long days, but they were enjoyable days.
Yeah.
And me being a fitness freak, I still keep in very much shape. Well, this is the way to do it. You keep in shape by walking. I think I checked my steps the other day, and I was averaging 13, 15,000 steps a day.
Oh, wow.
So just walking around this nursery here at Reese's.
Back with Bobby Gordon.
Bobby Daniels.
Bobby Daniels. I keep wanting to say Bobby Gordon. I don't know who Bobby Gordon is.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I know a Bobby Gordon.
Okay. It just maybe goes along with the name Bobby.
It does.
But it's Bobby D.
Daniels. Bobby D.
Bobby D.
I like Bobby D.
Bobby D.
Did they call you Bobby D?
Bobby
back
D. They still call me Bobby D.
That sounds like a DJ name. Bobby D. Bobby D in the garden.
That's right.
On the garden ones and twos. We are in it together. SC and the Diabetes Action Council presents Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with Tre Tailor. I'm Tre Tailor. Bobby joins us from Reese's Plants out in Blythewood, South Carolina. This is our Grow at Home series where we give you information about starting your own home garden. It really became popular. I mean, people were always gardening, but particularly, I think, Bobby, during the pandemic, people got more interested in doing their own gardens, doing their own fruits and vegetables. Did you guys see a increase? Well, here's the thing about the pandemic. People couldn't come out, but people did start doing their own fruits and gardens. How did that affect you guys?
Well, the garden centers were essential.
Yeah.
So we were not closed. And yes, the increase in business and the increase in customers was immense.
Yeah.
I think due to the fact that many people were working from home.
Yes.
And they needed something else to do. They looked outside and thought about how they could reestablish their gardens, reestablish their landscapes, and to the one they've always dreamed about.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the main increase of business was due to the fact that people looked out their yard and they were looking at their neighbors who may have had a real nice landscape and they wanted to keep up with those people.
Yeah.
And when they came out, we educated them and we helped them.
So tell me, as far as gardening is concerned, and I want to break it down, gardening, because you brought up another good point, landscaping.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we'll talk about a couple of things, Bobby. So what are the tips and information? What's the first 5 things you need to know if you want to? Because people still are starting gardens. You know, there have been some Johnny-come-latelys, you know.
Yeah.
So what would you tell people? What do people need to know before they even start a garden?
Before they even start, we tell them you're going to create a picture and with plants.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need to do first is look at what they have, and we're either going to start from scratch and remove what they have and paint a new picture,
Right.
or add to the present one. We need to look at their sun and shade situation.
Right.
We need to look at the soil that they have and whether that soil is equipped with a irrigation system. Without water, they're going to have a hard time surviving.
So let me ask you this: do you need an irrigation system, or is it just okay if you're watering your plants and flowers?
We'll just purchase a drip hose, a hose that they can attach to their spigot,
Right.
and that has small holes in it, and they put it around their plants. And depending on the season and when they water, of course, in the midst of the summer, plants are going to require more water every second or third day,
Right.
and enough time to get to the bottom of the root of that plant,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the size, 1 gallon, 3 gallon, 5 gallon. the larger the plant's going to require more water.
Right, right, right. So you're talking about landscape plants, I guess. You're talking about
Yeah.
because landscape is more greenery. Plants is more, I guess, what, picturesque.
More picturesque.
Yeah.
Early on in the spring, Reese's turns into a beautiful palette of color.
Mm-hmm.
And that color is those of tropicals, both indoors and outdoors. And people they want that instant gratification of color.
Mm-hmm.
And the plants we have during the spring do that for them. You know, whether they're wanting color around their swimming pool,
Right.
around the side of the porch, or in their garden. Now, pottery has become very popular,
Mm-hmm.
where people are now asking us help in how to grow beautiful plants in containers.
Yeah.
And even though they have their landscape, their pottery on the side of a step or on the side of a door on their porch really would be a beautiful statement to these homes.
In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council presents Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with Tre Tailor. I'm Tre Tailor. Bobby Daniels joins us from Reese's Plants out in Blythewood, South Carolina. This is part of our Grow at Home series on Wellness Wednesday, where we give you information, tips, and advice on how to grow at home. Bobby's been talking about plants and landscaping, and when we come back from the break in just a couple of moments, we'll talk about fruits and vegetables. So Bobby, when is the best time to start dealing with your landscape? Well, whether it be flowers or plants?
Well, in South Carolina, depending on your location, in South Carolina, the landscapers you can see are planting throughout the year.
Right, yeah.
Our ground does not freeze per se, so you can plant all year long. There's always that information that's out there that people always think that the best time to wait is the fall. And it is a very good time because that's when the plants go to sleep. And when they go to sleep, they're not going to require as much.
Right.
So fall is a good time for planting trees, plants, and when we're talking of container gardens, it's very, very, very attractive to switch out your containers by season.
Oh, okay.
So people will come in the summer and ask us help in designing a container that has summer theme, and then they'll switch it out and have a fall theme, and then they'll switch it out and have a winter theme, and then back to the spring flowers.
Kind of like with your curtains in your house.
Yeah.
Do you need to do that, or that's just a preference?
No, that's just a preference. Otherwise, the plant that usually is your feature plant in the center of that pot will remain alone and lonely without the plants and flowers growing around it to bring out the beauty.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could certainly have a pot with one plant in it. If it's a evergreen meaning it will last the year.
Yeah.
Now the tropical plants that are here in the springtime, once that frost hits, unless you bring it inside, it's probably not going to last for winters.
Bobby D joins us. Maxine says Bobby D the plant man. Do people call you that?
Philip Reese is the plant man.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want to take that away from him. But I will
Is he the
say
plant man or
he's the plant man, but people mistake me for the plant man too.
You have a plant man look, Bobby. Yeah. And we've been talking during our Grow at Home series. We've been doing this for the last few months since early summer back in May. Every month at the first Wednesday of the month, we come to you and give you information, advice, and tips on how to grow at home. Danielle says, wow, I learned something today. Plants go to sleep. Take a time out. That's great information. She says, thank you to me and you. Don't thank me. Thank Bobby D, the plant man. Thank you, Danielle, so much for watching. In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council present Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with Tre Tailor. I'm Tre Tailor. Bobby D, Bobby Daniel, the plant man, joins us. And we've been talking about landscaping and also plants. Coming up after the break, we'll talk about the best things to find out as far as growing fruits and vegetables in your own garden. We'll be right back with more Coping with Tre Tailor on Wellness Wednesday.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Sawyer, an entrepreneur and caregiver. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Up to 90% of South Carolinians who have it don't know they have it. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join a diabetes prevention program. This message brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of SC.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday lives. But when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Hi, I'm Master Deputy Addie Perez with the Virginia County Sheriff's Department Community Action Team. As a mother, I know it's important to take care of my health for those I care about. Part of doing that is knowing my risk for developing type 2 diabetes. So if I was you, I'll take the opportunity to visit inittogethersc.org and take an online test to find out if you have prediabetes. Again, the website is inittogethersc.org. This message is brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of South Carolina.
And It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council present Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with Tre Tailor. I'm Tre Tailor. Hey, don't forget, we are streaming live on the In It Together Facebook page. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Find out when we go live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. And then also, please like that page because they've got so much great information on diabetes prevention programs, healthy eating, fitness tips, and all types of great information on the In It Together Facebook page and also on their YouTube channel. We're also streaming live on the Tailor Made Production page on Facebook. That's the home of Coping with Tre Tailor. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Find out when we go live Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday at 2 p.m. and then on Thursday and Friday on Coping with Tre Tailor. We also are streaming live on our YouTube channel. Please go over there and hit that subscribe button. There you can find 3 years of information, resources, interviews on how to cope with pretty much everything. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. Hey, don't forget, scrolling at the bottom of the screen, we've got all kind of information on where to find COVID testing, where to find vaccinations. We also have community events, and also scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout the show, you can also find out information about jobs. So don't forget to do that. If you've got a question or a comment, you can do like Maxine and Danielle, post it in the chat, and we'll be glad to get into Bobby D, the plant man. We're here at Reese's Plants out in Blythewood, South Carolina. It's part of our Grow at Home series on Wellness Wednesday. We've been doing it since about May, just giving you information, tips, advice on how to grow at home because it has become very popular, particularly since after or during COVID. Bobby was sharing with us about landscaping and plants. So if you had just joined us, please don't forget to hit the replay button so that you can find out more information. We're going to talk now, Bobby, about growing fruits and vegetables in your backyard or wherever you may want to do it. You talked a little bit about making sure that you have light and sunlight. And I'll tell you, my girlfriend and I have a garden in my backyard because the sun is in my backyard and not in her backyard. So sun is important too.
Oh, it's important, of course. Sun, once again, it depends on the plant itself. So even though a lot of the fruits and vegetables can live in half a day of sun, they do need some sun to survive and really flourish in there wherever they're growing. Some people have really caught on to raised beds. I myself have tried tomatoes this year in pots that have done very well.
Right.
And I think a lot of that um, has to do with space.
Mm-hmm.
A big mistake that people do make when planting vegetables is trying to do too much in limited space.
Right.
And
Right.
the same applies for landscape. And that's why so many people are surprised when we tell them, okay, that's enough. And well, I want to do more. I want to do more. Well, we're going to have to increase the size of your garden.
Right.
So space is a number one concern. Light is a number two concern. Yes.
Yeah. But you mentioned that even if people don't, if they have limited space or have maybe not good soil, and I will talk a little bit about soil too. Container gardening is
Yeah.
is a option.
Container garden, it has become very popular. I have seen commercially where people now go on and build their own raised beds and have delivered. And there's so many good uh, soil mixtures out there in the garden centers that they can deliver to your home for a minimal fee that really contain the proper mixture right off the bat from step one for you to get started. It has the nutrients in it. It has the correct soil contents in it, and you're just about ready to go with pre-mixed soils.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bag soils are just as good.
Okay. Okay. So if you don't, so you don't need the right soil in your backyard. You
No.
can create.
Oh, you can easily create. You can easily create, and with what you have, you can. I always use that word amend. You could always amend with uh, bag soil, lime, compost, and so forth to make that soil healthy
Right.
for your fruits, vegetables,
Yeah.
whatever you're growing.
So let's talk a little bit about fruits and vegetables and when. I mean, we live in a climate. I mean, we're not Florida, so we do get some cold.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but we are, we have pretty mild weather. So can we grow all year round, or when should we grow what?
Well, for instance, today we had a whole truckload of citrus plants come in.
Mhm.
Uh,
Citrus, lemons,
lemons.
limes.
We've had a
oranges.
big desire from people
Really?
asking for lemons. And we had sold out the previous
Oh, okay.
shipment, and we have more in today. Now, I've had customers come in and show us pictures of their beautiful lemon trees that they keep outside all year long.
Wow.
Now, depending on the location, some of them wrap them and keep them protected. Some of them do not,
Right.
and they do get a good crop of lemons.
Yeah.
Same goes with oranges. We have tangelos and grapefruits. Now, some of those are going to be, and I tell the customers, it's a 50-50. Whether they'll survive, we have a harsh winter. Sometimes they don't. Some people, they'll put them in large containers, and they'll purchase a rolling container, and they'll wheel it right inside in the sunroom for the winter.
Cool.
And it flourishes in the sunroom, and they bring it outside early spring, and away they go. They'll have more fruit. We have several other varieties of fruits that are not citrus in the back. Blueberries have become very popular. Figs have become very popular.
I love a fig.
Yeah, and we have a whole variety of fruit trees. Fruit trees meaning apples, pears have become popular.
Can you grow it? And I'm just asking. This is a very random question, but because my 6-year-old grandson, we eat a lot of fruit. So he asked me the other day. He wanted to save the seeds from the apples, and he wanted to know, can we plant this? Now I asked Google or Alexa, and she said we could. What does Bobby say?
You could. It's a long process.
Is it
You need a growing hormone to get that started.
okay?
And it may be a very educational experience with the children to watch a seedling grow from a seed.
Yeah.
And it's been done, but sometimes the time it takes may be easier to just buy that seed.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So we got the seeds and I put them in water. I don't know if I was supposed to do that. Was I supposed to put them in water to get them ready?
There are starter pots.
Okay.
That have a
all the nutrients and
yes,
stuff in
a
them.
special soil mixture that you just put the seed in that starter pot, and it may grow from there.
From how long? How long from seed to apple?
Oh my goodness!
Is that a year?
Well, if they were to buy an apple tree, now an apple tree meaning maybe a 3 to 4 to 5 foot apple tree, they probably won't see edible apples maybe 3 to 5 years.
Oh my
However, we got an apple trees yesterday that had an abundance of apples hanging on them.
Really?
Yes. That
we can just put in the ground.
Put them right in the ground, and they're continuing to produce apples.
How much does the apple tree cost?
Anywhere
like that, like apples on.
That I think they're like $30.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I might come leave out of here with a daggone apple tree.
And I think we have a nice sale on apple trees right now.
Really?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what you guys offer here at Reese's. I mean, it is such a beautiful place. And you guys can see some pictures that we took earlier of the beautiful pottery, all of the luscious plants. And I'm a pottery person, so I mean my eyes, it's just such great eye candy in here.
Oh, it's the scenery around Reese's changes daily. Everything from the pottery, which some of it is so beautiful, to what goes into the pottery, what goes into the ground. I'm from New Jersey, and I still remember the Jersey tomato taste. Jersey tomato taste. Yeah. That seems to be probably one of the most popular vegetables that people try to grow tomatoes. Yeah. And
I can't do a tomato. It's citric. I can't do acidic.
Oh no,
I can't. I love it.
Yeah.
It doesn't love me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Tomatoes are very popular.
Yeah.
And then we have a variety of different vegetables. Peppers are very popular.
Peppers, and they seem to be easy to grow.
They are very easy to grow. However, for instance, this year the rabbits had taken over my pepper plants.
Oh my goodness.
They just love my pepper plants. So I'm gonna have to figure out something next year to protect them.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about how do you protect your plants from the insects that are outside. We're invading their space outside. I mean, I'm sure insects are like, golly, y'all don't want us inside, you don't want us outside. Where are we gonna go?
Yeah.
How do you protect your plants and not damage them?
Plants and vegetables, how to protect them are two different things.
Okay.
Now with a plant, you can protect them systemically by treating them maybe twice a year.
Right.
By putting a systemic into the root system, which works its way up into the plant itself.
Okay.
And will protect it from insects. With vegetables, you have to be very careful. Today, would you spray chemically on them?
Right, because you want to eat them. You've got to eat them. Yeah.
So that's why it's difficult. Where a lot of customers, they treat everything organically, and they have their own mixtures that they research online to try to go out there and treat organically.
Wow, yeah. So again, are you guys here to help people through all of that? Because you don't know. I mean, so what can someone who wants to, again, grow at home, whether it's plants, whether it's landscaping, whether it is fruits and vegetables, how can you help here at Reese's?
Well, we can help, number one, by seeing the photo.
Yeah.
So people bring in photos and show us what they have. And from that photo,
And that's as far as landscape.
Yeah,
Okay.
and even with a garden,
Even with a garden. Okay.
we could show them where to put certain plants that require more sun
Mm-hmm.
on one side of the garden, opposed to the other side of the garden that doesn't require a lot of sun.
Right.
Such as the cool crops, the lettuces, that and the collards towards the fall, which are cool crop veggies. They won't require that sun all
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
and we could help them with that. We could help them with amendments by asking them what type of soil they have. Um, we often tell them to go home and dig a hole and fill it with water and see how long it takes it to drain.
Mm-hmm.
And if it drains too quickly, it stays in there like a puddle. Because if it stays in there like a puddle, the roots of that plant are not going to be very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if it does drain, well, then we want to add some foods to that to make that hold on a little longer before it drains.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we help here in so many ways um, in helping them maintain, helping them design, and let's face it, everything in this yard you see is a living thing.
Yes.
And we as humans, we like to eat, and some people like their 3 meals a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was always taught that plants love to eat also
Mm.
3 times a year.
Okay. 3 times a
So, and of course, along with that goes the getting the drink.
year. Yeah.
So we have to keep our plants moist and fed.
Moist and fed. Keep your plants moist and fed. Now, here at Reese's, I was talking to Phil Reese, who is the proprietor of this nursery establishment. And you guys have a sale going on right now.
We have a sale going on, yes. This is our second big sale of the season.
The second big sale of the
sale,
season.
yeah. About a month ago, we had a sale on the entire nursery.
Mm.
And this time, we have sales on specific areas of plants. And there'll be different percentages.
Right. Bill was saying between 30 and 50% off mostly landscape stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
The house plants, which is also a major part of the nursery.
Yeah.
Um,
Beautiful.
that's where Philip started out. And we were talking about moisture a little while ago. A major abundance of houseplants don't like water. So a lot of them, we tell the customer to make sure they're dry before you water them again.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's a totally different thing there.
Yeah. What's the easiest thing to grow? Let's start with houseplant. Or the easiest thing to maintain. If you want something, if you're a starter.
Well, we all know that the easiest plant in that houseplant area is the snake plant, which is that Sansevieria. They do not require any maintenance. So if someone is just starting out, I remember when I used to work in my dad's florist and flower shop, that the snake plant was the one to go to that people used to neglect.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably is the one that's going to require the least amount of water, the least amount of care.
Okay.
And they could be beautiful. There's such a variety right now of them compared to it was when I grew up.
Right. Now, what about as far as fruits and vegetables? What's the easiest thing? I know we talked about peppers. They seem to be pretty easy to grow.
Peppers are easy. Cucumbers are easy.
Cucumbers.
And tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes, very easy to grow. As far as fruits, that's a tough one because fruit trees require a little more care. They do require to be treated for insect damage, and there is a schedule of treating them.
Okay.
So you have to really, and that's something we can help people with when they come.
In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council present Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with Tre Tailor. I'm Tre Tailor. Bobby D is with us. Bobby Daniels with Reese's Plants. And Bobby, before we go, I want to ask, where it's August.
It's August.
It's August, believe it or not, in South Carolina. It's triple-digit degrees.
Yes.
What should we be planting right now? What can we plant as far as, again, plants and fruits and vegetables?
We will
Tis the
tell
season
you
for what?
when you come in, anything we have in this garden center you can plant.
Okay. Because you only keep stuff that you can do now.
That's
Is
correct.
that okay?
That's correct. And you could plant anything in a container. Anything we have, a palm tree can be planted in a container.
Oh wow.
The fruit trees, I'm looking at olive trees right there on that table right there.
Mhm.
Now we have olive trees in the back.
Those are olive trees, like olives that you eat?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
They are the green olives that tree will produce.
right.
And we have very large olive trees on site right here. So, and they've been growing in a container for many years. So, yes, everything we have here, what Philip does order and what Jane does order, are plants that can be planted all year. And as long as they're taken care of, they'll survive.
Really? So pretty much anything here. So give us an idea of the plants that you do have here, the fruits and vegetables that you do have here that people could plant right now. Tis the season for what? Other than the olive plant.
Well, as far as the fruit trees.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said apple. Apple, we can do an apple tree right now?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
You can do an apple tree right now. You could do blueberries right now. You could do figs right now. I'm trying to think what else. We could do pears.
Pears.
Now, there are certain varieties of grapes. Now, grapes are a little difficult to grow due to the fact that they require a lot of space. And you need to run some lines for them to attach to.
Mm-hmm.
So they do require a little more.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, and then as far as flowers,
a good summer flower right now is a marigold.
but is it summer? It's technically, because we're getting ready to go into fall.
It's still summer.
It's still summer.
Still summer.
Okay.
The marigolds, lantanas are blooming, and they'll keep on blooming all the way through the fall. We just got some more in today. Herbs are real big.
Okay.
So people come in and want their basil and their parsley. I'm looking at some Gerber daisies. I'm looking at some petunias. And there's so much variety of flowers
that people
that, like you said, we'll be switching over to the fall. Okay.
Yeah. So when is that technically for South Carolina? I mean, fall technically is really the end of this month, but we'll still be, in triple digits at least.
You know what's funny? How the plants know.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, even though the temperatures and the weather does change, we do have a fall, but it's funny to see that some of those summer flowers will die back, and you'll start to see the fall flowers. You'll start to see when we get in the pansies, and people start planting pansies, even though they do require, and we recommend waiting until it does get a little cooler. Mm-hmm. It seems like the plants start to flourish when
they know.
They know it's coming time for them to start growing.
So Bobby, I have to ask, even though, and you said you talked about what people can start to grow now, even though September is in a little less than 30 days, and since it still will be hot, probably at least till October, should we still go ahead and plant those, or do we hold off and wait for the fall?
The cool crop vegetables, yes, wait.
Okay.
This 100-degree heat will affect them.
Yeah.
So yes, I would definitely wait till the cool crop vegetables do arrive.
Mm-hmm.
And when they arrive, that's a
And that's
indication.
That's October, September,
yes.
October.
Yes.
Okay. And if people have any other questions or need more information,
Bobby D.
or Phil,
The real plant.
Phil Reese of Reese's Guard Plants. We're here in Blythewood. Bobby, thank you so much
You're welcome.
for joining us today. Is there anything else we didn't talk about that you want to cover?
I think we did very well. We love helping people. The people, our staff here loves plants, and that's why we're here. And like I say, this has become a destination nursery, and I'm learning. And it's funny how we learn from customers too.
Yeah.
What works for them, and what we recommend it works for us. And yes, it really has become a destination nursery. People travel for miles, and the word's out. Check us out.
Yeah. I'm gonna come and bring my grandbabies to get that apple tree, and then I want you to talk to Julius about we're going to plant this apple tree, and we can see the fruits of our labor now, but we can still plant those seeds.
Yes.
And see maybe on his 10th birthday.
and I will be doing more research.
Okay, do that
for you.
Do that, Bobby, because he was really excited about it. I mean, because he's kind of into plants. I'm going to tell you a quick, interesting story. My family's plant is the, Morning Glory. Morning Glory is our family plant. And 3 years ago, right before COVID, my aunt, who is the matriarch of our family, planned our very first family reunion. It was our very first family reunion. She planned it, and she gave everyone Morning Glory seeds.
Wow.
Well, I'm a plant person, but I didn't plant my Morning Glory seeds. I just don't know why. Fast forward, Julius's, my grandson's class had a planting activity.
Yes.
And I sent the Morning Glories in with a bunch of and so many other families sent them in. So it was random what any child could have gotten. So at the end of school, Julius comes home with the plant that he planted. I didn't know what it was because it looked like a little thing. We put it outside, and probably in less than 30 days, this plant comes up, and then one day, a beautiful purple
Morning Glory.
First of all,
started to climb.
Bobby, of all the plants that he could have gotten, I mean, because there were 30 kids in the class, and they all got a different one. He got the Morning Glory.
Wow.
And Bobby, do you know, I felt like my aunt, who had passed away after she planned and attended this our first family reunion. I felt like every time, and it doesn't open every day. I mean, it's arbitrary. It's been throughout the summer. I feel like she's smiling down on me.
Wow.
So
beautiful story.
Thank you.
What a beautiful story.
I'm about to cry.
Very, very touching.
And you know what? Again, he's the one that got the Morning Glory. And when it opened, I was like, is this the Morning Glory?
Oh.
And so he's really into it now. He's into planting. So when he saw the seeds in the apple, he was like, can we plant these? And then I've got a garden in my backyard. So I think that they'll be really fascinated with that.
I'd love to speak to him, and I'm going to do some research.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In it together, SC and the Diabetes Action Council. Maxine says she's already crying. Presents Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with Tre Tailor. We've been here at Reese's Plants with Bobby Daniel, Bobby D. Come by, and I mean, like I said, this is eye candy. You've been seeing some of the pictures that I took before the interview, and I already see a bunch of. I'm gonna go broke getting all of these all this pottery. I have actually on my porch some pictures of faces, and I have 2 pots that are small faces. So I've seen some more faces that I can add to my faces collection. So the beautiful pottery, great plants. They've got a sale going on right now for landscape plants between 30 and 50% off. So ride on out to Blythewood. It's a short drive. I heard people were saying, oh, you're going all the way out to Blythewood. It's not that far drive, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. So come on out and join us. I'm Tre Tailor. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us today for Wellness Wednesday. If you have a product or service that can help someone cope with COVID, please email coping at TreTailor.com. Coping with Tre Tailor at gmail.com. Coping with Tre Tailor at gmail.com. The information should be scrolling at the bottom of the screen since I obviously don't know the email address. Coping with Tre Tailor at gmail.com. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council, the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson. Also, our sponsors include the City of Columbia, the Comet Bus System, Black Pages, Black Expo, Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall, Palmetto Media Connections, Javis Tax Services, and of course, Agape Counseling and Training Services. If you have a story or initiative that can help someone cope with COVID, please email Josephine at booking@copingwithtreTailor.com. Booking@copingwithtreTailor.com. We would love to feature you or your initiative. As a matter of fact, check us out on tomorrow. We're going to be talking with a gentleman that works with young people, and with school starting back up, you're going to want to hear from him. He is with Positive Behavior Support, Anthony Williamson. He is a youth advocate. We're going to be talking with him tomorrow. And then on Friday, join us for Coping with Tre Tailor at 2 p.m. when we will have another show. We're going to talk with Trina White with the purple mushroom. She actually grows some 30 varieties of mushrooms, and we're going to go out to her mushroom farm and talk to her. And then, of course, we've got more content for you next week. So please join us 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until the next time, I wish you peace and abundant blessings. Take care, stay well, God bless, and don't forget, we are still in a pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're going to be out and about, especially inside with a lot of people, please don't forget to wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. We'll see you next week, or tomorrow. Actually, we'll see you next week on Wellness Wednesday, and tomorrow on Coping with Tre Tailor. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you.
Coping, find peace of mind to survive through whatever. Coping, learning the way that we thrive all together. Coping, finding out what's real. Coping, we can heal, we can heal, we can heal. Coping with stress, coping with strife, bringing hope for success, for improving our life. Coping beyond hoping to do more than survive, ways to live a healthy life. Coping and promoting learning what you can do, 6 ways to a better you.